She saved countless lives after the tornado, working until she collapsed from exhaustion. But when Nurse Maria Liao finally left the ruined clinic, she had no home to go to. With nowhere else, she curled up in her car, adrift in the chaos. What she didn't know was that a powerful act of kindness was about to arrive, driven by a man whose family she had unknowingly saved, changing her life in ways she never imagined. Before we carry on, please hit the subscribe button to make my day, and let me know where you are watching from in the comments. The air in Harmony Creek was thick with the acrid scent of dust and damp earth, a grim testament to the tornado's raw power. What had once been a quaint, unassuming rural town was now a mosaic of splintered wood, twisted metal, and shattered lives. The clinic, a modest, one-story building that had served the community for generations, lay partially collapsed, its roof torn away like a flimsy paper lid, exposing its innards to the indifferent sky. Yet, within its mangled walls, a desperate battle for survival had been waged for the past 60 hours, a relentless, exhausting fight against the encroaching tide of death and despair. Maria Liao, her scrubs stained with grime and dried blood, her usually neat bun a tangled mess, felt the bone-deep ache of profound exhaustion reverberating through every fiber of her being. Her eyes, usually bright with compassionate energy, were now shadowed with fatigue, red-rimmed and gritty. The rhythmic beeping of the remaining medical equipment, the hushed murmurs of injured patients, and the hurried instructions of doctors had become the oppressive soundtrack to her existence. For 3 straight days, since the funnel cloud had ripped through Harmony Creek, she had moved with an almost robotic efficiency, propelled by adrenaline and an unwavering commitment to her Hippocratic oath. She had triaged, bandaged, comforted, and stabilized, her hands a blur of practiced motions, her mind a sharp, unyielding instrument of medical knowledge. She had lost count of the patients, the hours, the small, desperate victories, and the gut-wrenching losses. The clinic, though damaged, had become the epicenter of their shattered world, a beacon of flickering hope in the surrounding desolation. They had operated on makeshift tables, sterilized instruments over open flames, and stretched meager supplies to their absolute limit, improvising with a grim determination that bordered on the miraculous. Maria, a registered nurse with almost a decade of experience, had never faced anything remotely close to this. The meticulously sterile environments of city hospitals, the predictable routines, the abundant resources, all seemed like distant, unattainable luxuries from another lifetime. Here, it was primal, raw, a constant improvisation driven by the sheer will to keep people alive. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Dr. Albright, the clinic's head physician, a grizzled man whose face was etched with a profound weariness mirroring Maria's own, placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. "Maria," he said, his voice raspy, "that's enough. You've been on your feet for 60 hours straight. Go. We'll manage for a few hours. You need to rest, truly." His eyes, though tired, held a deep gratitude, a silent acknowledgement of her unwavering dedication. Maria nodded, too tired to argue, too tired to even register the immediate need for rest. Her mind felt like a heavy, sodden sponge, incapable of absorbing any more information, any more pain. Her body screamed for respite. Every muscle ached, every joint protested. Her head throbbed with a relentless rhythm. She stumbled out of the clinic, the fading afternoon light casting long, mournful shadows across the devastated landscape. The once familiar road was unrecognizable, littered with debris, skeletal trees reaching like despairing arms towards a bruised sky. As she navigated the treacherous path, a wave of stark reality washed over her, chilling her to the bone despite the humid air. Her apartment. It had been in the direct path of the tornado's fury, a small, cozy dwelling she had painstakingly made her home since moving to Harmony Creek 2 years ago. The last she'd heard, it was gone, reduced to rubble, a cruel casualty of the storm's indiscriminate rage. She had no home to return to, no bed to collapse onto, no hot shower to wash away the grime and the emotional residue of the past days. Her entire life, everything she owned, was scattered to the winds, a collection of meaningless fragments strewn across the ravaged land. A profound, soul-deep weariness, heavier than any physical exhaustion, settled over her. The realization hit her with the force of a physical blow. She had saved lives, countless lives, but she couldn't even save her own sanctuary. The irony was a bitter taste in her mouth. She had nowhere to go. Her only remaining possession of any practical value was her car. A battered but reliable sedan that she had parked at the clinic's far edge, nestled behind a cluster of surviving oak trees, miraculously spared the worst of the storm's wrath. She reached it, the familiar metallic scent of its interior a small comfort in the overwhelming chaos. With a sigh that seemed to carry the weight of the entire world, she reclined the driver's seat as far as it would go, pulled a crumpled, emergency blanket from the back seat, and curled into a fetal position, her body protesting with dread. Every movement. The silence outside, broken only by the distant sounds of emergency sirens and the occasional creak of collapsing structures, felt vast and lonely. Sleep, when it finally came, was not a gentle descent into oblivion, but a heavy, dreamless unconsciousness, a temporary escape from the relentless demands of a shattered world. She felt utterly adrift, a small, solitary figure in a vast, desolate landscape, with no anchor, no direction, no hope. The first rays of dawn, pale and tentative, pierced through the grimy windows of Maria's car, doing little to alleviate the pervasive chill that seemed to emanate from the very ground. She stirred, her body protesting every movement, muscles stiff and aching from the cramped confines of the sedan. The thin blanket had offered little warmth against the encroaching morning cold, and her mouth felt like sandpaper. Her eyes, still gritty with exhaustion, fluttered open, blinking against the weak light, trying to discern the unfamiliar shapes of a world profoundly altered. The immediate surroundings were a stark reminder of her new reality. Twisted tree limbs lay scattered across what was once a neatly paved parking lot, now a chaotic expanse of mud and debris. A nearby lamppost bent at a grotesque angle, its fractured wires sparking faintly in the morning breeze. The clinic itself, though still standing, looked even more desolate in the harsh light of day, a skeletal remains of a building, a testament to the storm's destructive power. A deep sigh escaped her lips, heavy with the weight of her homelessness, the profound uncertainty of her future. She had saved lives, yes, but what about her own? Where did she go from here? The clinic would be operational for emergency care for the foreseeable future, but it wasn't a home. Her belongings, her memories, her tangible link to her past, were gone. A wave of profound despondency washed over her, a chill that had nothing to do with the morning air. Suddenly, a low rumble, faint at first, then growing steadily louder, vibrated through the ground, pulling her from her bleak introspection. It was a deep, guttural thrumming, accompanied by the distinct, unmistakable wail of a distant siren. Maria frowned, pushing herself upright, her head throbbing in protest. More emergency crews? The storm had passed days ago, and while recovery efforts were ongoing, the immediate crisis had subsided. This sound was different, more organized, more purposeful. Then, around the bend of the ruined main road, a splash of brilliant, unmistakable red appeared, cutting sharply through the muted browns and grays of the devastated landscape. It was a fire truck, its siren now a triumphant blare, its chrome gleaming in the nascent sunlight. But it wasn't just one. Behind it, another appeared, then another, and another, until a convoy of 5 gleaming fire trucks, their sirens echoing in a coordinated symphony, rumbled towards the clinic. Turning off the main road and heading directly into the makeshift parking lot where Maria's car was parked, Maria stared, utterly bewildered. 5 fire trucks? This was an extraordinary display for a single rural clinic. Was there another emergency? A fire? Her mind, though fatigued, immediately reverted to nurse mode, assessing, preparing for action. She pushed open her car door, her body protesting the sudden movement, and stumbled out, bracing herself for whatever fresh crisis awaited them. The lead truck, a massive, imposing vehicle, pulled to a precise stop directly in front of her modest sedan. Its siren died down, leaving an abrupt, almost deafening silence. The door of the driver's side swung open, and a tall, powerfully built man in a crisp dark blue uniform, adorned with shiny brass buttons and insignia, jumped down. He moved with an easy, confident stride, his shoulders broad, his presence commanding. He was Captain Joe Randall, and his face, though shadowed by fatigue, held an expression of profound purpose. Maria felt a flicker of recognition, a vague familiarity, but couldn't place him in her exhausted state. She knew many faces from the past few days, a blur of worried relatives, grateful patients, and overwhelmed first responders. He looked vaguely like someone she might have briefly seen in the chaos, but he carried himself with an authority that stood out. Captain Randall approached her, his gaze intense, sweeping over her disheveled appearance, the exhaustion etched on her face, the crumpled blanket clutched in her hand. A faint, almost imperceptible smile touched his lips, a mixture of relief and deep gratitude. He stopped a few feet from her, his presence radiating an unexpected warmth that cut through the morning chill. "Nurse Liao?" Captain Randall's voice was deep, resonating with a quiet authority, yet surprisingly gentle. His blue eyes, though tired, held an intensity that was disarming. Maria nodded, her voice a little hoarse from disuse. "Yes, that's me. Is there another emergency, Captain?" She looked past him, towards the other 4 trucks, their engines idling, a sense of collective expectation emanating from them. Captain Randall shook his head slowly, a solemn but reassuring gesture. "No, Nurse Liao. No emergency. Not in the way you're thinking, anyway." He paused, his gaze sweeping over the ruined clinic, then back to her, a deep, knowing look in his eyes. "My wife, Sarah, was brought in here on the first day. Her leg was severely fractured, and she had a nasty head injury. They told me she wouldn't have made it if it wasn't for the quick thinking of one particular nurse. A nurse who stayed calm, who improvised, who went above and beyond when the chaos was at its worst. They told me you didn't leave her side, even when the roof was falling in." Maria felt a blush creep up her neck. She remembered Sarah, a kind woman with bright red hair, her leg grotesquely twisted, her eyes glazed with pain and fear. It was a blur of a memory, one of countless patients, but she remembered the urgency, the critical need for immediate stabilization, the improvised splint, the relentless monitoring of her vitals, her desperate efforts to prevent shock. She had simply been doing her job, operating on instinct, fueled by the desperate need to save a life. Captain Randall took a step closer, his voice dropping to a low, heartfelt tone, laden with profound gratitude. "That nurse, Maria, was you. You saved her life. You saved my wife. You saved my family." His gaze was unwavering, filled with an intensity that spoke of immense, unpayable debt. "And when I heard you had lost everything, when I heard you were sleeping in your car right here, because you had nowhere else to go, well, we couldn't stand for that. Not after what you did for us." 1. He then turned, his hand sweeping dramatically towards the convoy of fire trucks, their doors now opening, uniformed firefighters spilling out, each carrying an item. Maria stared, her mind struggling to process the scene unfolding before her disbelieving eyes. They weren't empty-handed. Not at all. From the first truck emerged a team carrying what looked like brand new, sturdy wooden beams and rolls of fresh tarp. From another, tools, bundles of lumber, and stacks of insulation. The third truck's crew began to unload furniture, surprisingly intact, covered with protective blankets, a soft plush armchair, a sturdy wooden table, even a comfortable-looking mattress wrapped in plastic. The fourth and fifth trucks produced boxes upon boxes of supplies, non-perishable food items, toiletries, stacks of new towels, clothes in various sizes, a small portable generator, and even a selection of potted plants, a splash of green hope amidst the devastation. Captain Randall turned back to Maria, a triumphant, compassionate smile now gracing his face. "Nurse Liao," he said, his voice ringing with a powerful sense of collective purpose, "we're not empty-handed. We're here to rebuild your home, piece by piece, if that's what it takes. You saved Harmony Creek. Now, Harmony Creek is here to save you." Maria's eyes welled up, blurring the scene before her. The exhaustion, the despair, the overwhelming sense of loneliness, all of it crumbled, replaced by a surge of profound, overwhelming emotion. Tears, hot and stinging, streamed down her face. Tears she hadn't shed for days, for weeks, for what felt like an eternity. It wasn't just the materials, the promise of a roof over her head. It was the raw, unadulterated kindness, the tangible embodiment of gratitude, the profound realization that in saving others, she had, in turn, saved. She had spent her life giving, and now, when she had nothing left, Harmony Creek was getting back, a testament to the ripple effect of genuine compassion. The days that followed blurred into a whirlwind of purposeful activity, a stark contrast to the chaotic survival of the immediate post-tornado aftermath. Maria watched, still somewhat in a daze of disbelief and profound gratitude, as the fire truck convoy, augmented by a growing number of community volunteers, transformed the desolate landscape around her ruined apartment. The lot, which had been a depressing pile of splintered wood and twisted metal, rapidly became a hive of disciplined, coordinated effort. Captain Randall, a man of quiet authority and unwavering determination, orchestrated the entire operation with the precision of a seasoned commander. He moved with an infectious energy, his booming voice directing crews, his strong hands pitching in with the heavy lifting, his presence an undeniable source of inspiration. He wasn't just a fire captain, he was a leader, a compassionate force who had mobilized an entire community. The firemen, usually seen battling infernos or rescuing cats from trees, displayed a surprising proficiency in carpentry and construction. They worked with a focused intensity, their faces grimed with dirt and sweat, but their eyes shining with a shared purpose. They weren't just rebuilding a structure, they were rebuilding a life, a symbol of hope in a town desperately in need of it. They didn't treat Maria as a charity case. They treated her as a hero, a cherished member of their community who had given selflessly and now deserved to receive. Maria, though initially overwhelmed, soon found herself pulled into the rhythm of their work. Despite Dr. Albright's insistence that she continue to rest, Maria, driven by an inherent need to contribute, offered to help in any way she could. She became the unofficial logistics manager, organizing the donated supplies, ensuring the workers had water and snacks, and offering soothing words of comfort to other displaced residents who occasionally wandered by. Drawn by the unusual activity, she used her nursing skills to attend to minor cuts and scrapes, her calm demeanor a reassuring presence amidst the reconstruction. As the skeletal framework of her small apartment began to take shape, piece by painstakingly placed piece, Maria learned more about Captain Randall and his family. His wife, Sarah, was recovering steadily at a larger hospital an hour away, having been transferred there after Maria's crucial intervention at the clinic. Their 2 young children, a boy and a girl, had been staying with relatives out of town, safely away from the tornado's path. Sarah, according to Joe, insisted on sending daily messages of gratitude, expressing her profound indebtedness to the angel nurse who had saved her life. Joe spoke of Sarah with a deep affection, his voice softening perceptibly whenever he mentioned her name, a subtle tenderness that revealed the depth of his love and the relief he felt at her survival. One afternoon, as Maria was helping to sort through a fresh delivery of donated household items, Joe approached her, a serious expression on his face. "Maria," he began, his voice lowered, a hint of concern in his tone. "I know this is a lot, and you've been through so much, but I need to ask you something. You're a nurse, a highly skilled one. And Harmony Creek, well, we're going to need a new clinic. A proper one. The one we had was barely adequate before the storm, and now it's just gone. We need skilled medical professionals, people like you, who understand this community, who have already proven their dedication." End quote. He paused, then continued, his gaze direct and earnest. "What are your plans, Maria? Are you thinking of moving back to the city? To a bigger hospital, perhaps? Because if there's any way we could convince you to stay, to help us rebuild our medical services, not just your home, we would be eternally grateful. We could help you find a position, a permanent role here. We could make it worth your while." Maria looked around at the rising walls of her new home, at the determined faces of the volunteers, at the resilient spirit of a community pulling itself back from the brink. She thought of the frantic, desperate days in the ruined clinic, the visceral satisfaction of saving lives with her own hands, the deep connection she had formed with the people of Harmony Creek, not just as patients, but as fellow survivors. The impersonal, fast-paced rhythm of the city hospitals, with their endless paperwork and detached efficiency, seemed less appealing now. Here, she felt a profound sense of purpose, a vital connection to the very fabric of life and death, of struggle and triumph, a sense of belonging, a feeling she hadn't truly experienced since leaving her rural hometown years ago, began to settle in her heart. This wasn't just a job. It was a calling, a place where her skills were not just utilized, but genuinely needed, deeply appreciated. This community, which had given her everything when she had nothing, felt like home. "Captain Randall," Maria said, a soft smile gracing her lips. "Joe, my home is here now. And my heart is here. Harmony Creek. It's where I need to be. I would be honored to help rebuild your clinic, to help heal this community in every way I can. You don't have to convince me." Joe's face broke into a wide, relieved smile, a flash of genuine joy illuminating his tired features. He extended a large, calloused hand, and Maria grasped it, a firm, unspoken pact passing between them. It was a promise of mutual support, of a shared future, of a bond forged in the crucible of disaster, and cemented by an unshakable belief in the power of human compassion. Harmony Creek had lost much, but it had gained a formidable ally, a healer whose dedication was as unwavering as its newly rebuilt foundations. The rebuilding of Maria's home was a palpable symbol of Harmony Creek's resilience, a small miracle rising from the wreckage. Within weeks, the shell of her apartment was transformed into a cozy, functional space, meticulously crafted by the hands of grateful firefighters and community volunteers. The donated furniture, carefully selected and transported, found its place, and the aroma of fresh paint replaced the lingering scent of damp debris. Maria found herself surrounded by comfort and warmth, a stark contrast to the initial desolation, and a constant, humbling reminder of the profound kindness she had received. But the true challenge lay ahead, the rebuilding of the clinic. The existing structure was beyond repair, deemed unsafe for any future medical use. Captain Joe Randall, with his formidable organizational skills, spearheaded the project, transforming his relentless energy from rescuing lives to revitalizing a community's core infrastructure. He formed a special committee, enlisting local tradespeople, engineers, and even a few retired doctors, who, inspired by Maria's dedication, eagerly offered their expertise. Maria, true to her word, immersed herself in the clinic's reconstruction. She worked tirelessly alongside the construction crews, her medical expertise invaluable in planning the layout of the new facility. She designed efficient patient flow, advised on the placement of specialized equipment, and ensured that the new clinic would meet not only current medical standards, but also anticipate future needs, all while navigating the practical constraints of a recovering community's resources. Her compassion and practical insight were invaluable, transforming abstract blueprints into a tangible, functional space designed for healing. News of her selfless actions during the tornado and the community's extraordinary response spread beyond Harmony Creek. Small regional newspapers carried features, and soon a national medical journal published an article praising her dedication and highlighting the town's unique initiative. Donations began to pour in, not just from individuals, but from medical supply companies, pharmaceutical firms, and even philanthropic organizations, all eager to support a story of such profound human resilience and mutual aid. The narrative of Harmony Creek's rebirth, epitomized by Maria's story, resonated deeply with people tired of endless negativity, offering a beacon of hope and demonstrating the best of humanity. One crisp autumn morning, as the leaves began to turn golden, painting the still scarred landscape with a fragile beauty, the new Harmony Creek Medical Clinic stood proudly, a testament to collective spirit. It was a modern, well-equipped facility, a far cry from the cramped, outdated structure it replaced. On opening day, the entire town gathered, a joyous celebration that felt like a collective exhale after months of shared grief and strenuous effort. Joe, beaming with pride, stood by Maria's side as the ribbon was cut. His wife, Sarah, now walking with the aid of a cane, embraced Maria fiercely, tears in her eyes, whispering heartfelt thanks that seemed to carry the weight of her continuing recovery. Maria, now the lead nurse and administrator of the new clinic, felt a profound sense of belonging. Her small, rebuilt apartment, just a short walk away, felt like a sanctuary, a true home. She had found more than just a place to live. She had found her purpose, her community, her chosen family. The ghosts of the tornado still lingered in the scarred landscape, in the occasional tremor of memory, but they were now overshadowed by the vibrant, pulsating energy of rebirth and renewal. Her life settled into a fulfilling rhythm. Days were spent at the clinic, treating patients, mentoring new staff members, and implementing innovative public health programs designed to address the unique needs of a recovering rural community. Evenings were often spent with Joe and Sarah, their families intertwined by a bond of gratitude and shared experience. Joe, now more than just a professional colleague, had become a steadfast friend, a pillar of support, his quiet strength a comforting presence in her life. Their conversations often drifted beyond work, touching on personal dreams, shared laughter, and a deep, mutual respect. She sometimes visited Sarah in the small garden they were slowly rebuilding, sharing stories, exchanging recipes, building a friendship based on shared trauma and profound appreciation. One afternoon, a few months after the clinic's opening, Maria received an unexpected letter. It was from a prestigious medical university in a distant city, offering her a full scholarship to pursue an advanced degree in healthcare administration, citing her exemplary leadership in Harmony Creek. The offer was tempting, a chance to further her career, to gain more formal qualifications, to perhaps reach a higher echelon in the medical world. It represented a significant opportunity, a potential stepping stone to a more prominent role, possibly even at a national level. Maria held the letter, her brow furrowed in thought. The city, with its vast hospitals and endless opportunities, now felt distant, almost foreign. The fast-paced, sometimes impersonal environment of metropolitan healthcare seemed less appealing after the deeply personal, community-focused work she was doing in Harmony Creek. Here, she was more than just a nurse. She was an integral part of the town's very heartbeat, a direct agent of its healing. She walked to the window, gazing out at the familiar, rolling hills, the newly sprouted trees, the rebuilt homes, and the bustling activity of the clinic across the way. She saw the children playing in the park, their laughter echoing through the crisp air, a sound she had fought to preserve during the dark days after the storm. She saw the faces of her patients, her neighbors, her friends, all connected by their shared journey of recovery and renewal. Harmony Creek had given her a home, a purpose, and a sense of belonging she hadn't known she was missing. It had shown her the true meaning of community, the boundless power of collective kindness. This wasn't just a town she worked in. It was the place where she had found herself, where her spirit had been truly healed after the immense trauma. The allure of prestige, of advancement in a bigger, more anonymous world, paled in comparison to the profound satisfaction of serving this small, resilient community. She knew her answer. With a quiet, resolute smile, Maria set the scholarship letter aside. Her place was here. Her future was here. Her heart was here. She had found her true calling, not in the pursuit of greater accolades or a more impressive title, but in the enduring spirit of Harmony Creek, in the lives she continued to touch, and in the profound, unbreakable bonds forged in the crucible of disaster. The journey had been arduous, marked by loss and despair, but it had led her to a destination far richer than any she could have ever envisioned, a life filled with purpose, connection, and the unwavering light of profound human kindness. The years that followed solidified Maria's bond with Harmony Creek, transforming her from a grateful recipient of kindness into a steadfast pillar of the Acras community. The Harmony Creek Medical Clinic flourished under her leadership, evolving into a beacon of rural healthcare. She spearheaded initiatives for mobile clinics, reaching out to isolated pockets of the community, ensuring no one was left without access to vital medical care. Her innovative approach to rural health, focusing on preventive care and community education, garnered national recognition. Articles in medical journals often featured her work, praising her dedication and the unique model of community engagement she had fostered. Maria's personal life blossomed alongside her professional success. Her friendship with Joe Randall deepened, evolving beyond shared trauma into a profound connection built on mutual respect and admiration. He was a constant presence, his unwavering support a quiet strength in her life. They shared early morning coffees at the rebuilt local diner, discussing clinic operations, town affairs, and the simple joys of a community reborn. Joe's wife, Sarah, became Maria's closest confidant, their bond cemented by Sarah's enduring gratitude and Maria's humble insistence that she had simply done her job. Sarah often joked that Maria was now an honorary member of the Randall family, a sentiment Maria deeply cherished. One late spring afternoon, as the town celebrated the 5th anniversary of the tornado, a vibrant, resilient Harmony Creek gathering in the revitalized town square, Maria found herself reflecting on the prowl journey. The scars of the storm were still visible, etched into the landscape in the collective memory, but they were now overshadowed by the vibrant tapestry of regrowth and enduring hope. The town had not just rebuilt, it had reimagined itself, stronger and more united than ever. During the celebration, a representative from the National Rural Health Association approached Maria. She offered Maria a prestigious position on their national board, requesting her expertise and insights to shape rural healthcare policy across the country. This was a remarkable opportunity, a chance to influence policy on a scale she had only dreamed of in her former life. It would mean travel, national recognition, and a significant voice in shaping the future of rural medicine. Maria listened intently, a familiar sense of duty and the allure of broader impact warring with the deep roots she had grown in Harmony Creek. She excused herself from the conversation, needing a moment to process the enormity of the offer. She walked away from the bustling square, seeking the quiet solace of the newly replanted community garden, a project she had personally overseen. The vibrant colors of blooming flowers and the gentle hum of bees provided a calming backdrop for her thoughts. As she stood there, a familiar figure approached. It was Joe, his uniform crisp, his smile warm and genuine. He seemed to sense her internal struggle, his understanding gaze reflecting years of shared experiences and unspoken connection. "Everything all right, Maria?" he asked, his voice soft, non-intrusive. Maria sighed, a slight tremor in her hands as she clutched the offer letter. "I've just received a very significant offer, Joe, a position on the National Rural Health Association board. It's a huge opportunity, a chance to impact so many lives beyond Harmony Creek." Joe listened, his expression thoughtful, without immediately offering advice. He simply nodded, allowing her to articulate her dilemma. "It's a good thing, a wonderful thing really," Maria continued. "But it would mean less time here, less time at the clinic, less time with everyone, with you and Sarah, with the community that rebuilt my home, that gave me a second chance. I feel it torn." Joe stepped closer, his presence a comforting anchor. "Maria," he began, his voice imbued with a quiet wisdom, "you built this clinic. You helped heal this town. You showed us all what true resilience looks like. Harmony Creek is a testament to your spirit, to your dedication. Wherever you go, whatever you do, that truth will always be a part of you, and the impact you've already had, here it's immeasurable." He paused, then added, his gaze holding hers, but deep respect shining in his eyes. "But sometimes, a bird needs to stretch its wings. Your roots are here now, Maria. Strong and deep, they won't disappear if you choose to fly higher. And Harmony Creek will always be here, cheering you on. We'll be proud of you, no matter what you decide. Because you're not just our nurse, Maria. You're family." His words, simple yet profound, resonated deep within her. They were a plea to stay, but an affirmation of her freedom, an unconditional support that transcended her role in Harmony Creek. She realized that her love for this community wasn't contingent on her physical presence every single day. Her legacy was already woven into its fabric, her spirit alive in its renewed vitality. She could serve Harmony Creek by extending its healing philosophy to a national stage, amplifying their story, ensuring that other rural communities could benefit from the lessons learned here. A profound sense of clarity washed over her. She looked at Joe, a smile slowly blossoming on her face, bright and genuine. "Thank you, Joe," she said, her voice filled with heartfelt emotion. "You're right. You're always right." Maria accepted the position on the National Rural Health Association board. It was a daunting, yet exhilarating step into a new chapter of her life. The role demanded frequent travel, intense policy discussions, and strategic planning sessions in bustling city centers she had once fled. Yet, she carried Harmony Creek in her heart, its spirit of resilience and community informing every decision she made, every policy she championed. She became a powerful advocate for rural health, her personal story of loss and rebirth, coupled with her practical experience, lending an undeniable authenticity to her arguments. She brought a unique perspective to national healthcare debates, emphasizing the importance of community-led initiatives, innovative resource management, and the profound impact of compassionate, localized care. Her influence grew steadily. She successfully lobbied for increased funding for rural clinics, championed programs to attract and retain healthcare professionals in underserved areas, and advocated for policies that addressed the specific health disparities faced by isolated communities. She saw her work not as a departure from Harmony Creek, but as an extension of its enduring spirit, a way to share its unique success story with the entire nation. Despite her demanding schedule, Maria never truly left Harmony Creek. Her rebuilt apartment remained her sanctuary, her true home. She returned as often as her schedule allowed, sometimes for weeks at a time, sometimes just for a long weekend. She volunteered at the clinic she had helped build, stepping back into her nursing duties, reconnecting with her patients, and offering mentorship to the new generation of healthcare professionals who now looked up to her. The annual tornado anniversary celebration became a cherished tradition, a time for profound reflection and joyous reunion with her adopted family. Joe and Sarah remained her closest friends, their bond unwavering. Joe, proud of her national accomplishments, continued to be her grounding force, a quiet strength that reminded her of the simple, yet profound values of Harmony Creek. Sarah, now fully recovered, often accompanied Maria on her visits, their friendship a testament to the enduring power of compassion and shared experience. They would spend hours catching up, talking about the growth of their children, the ongoing projects in Harmony Creek, and the quiet contentment that had settled over their lives. Years turned into decades. Maria's name became synonymous with rural health excellence. She received numerous awards, honorary degrees, and national accolades, each one a testament to her profound impact on the healthcare landscape of the country. Her journey, from sleeping in a car after a devastating tornado to becoming a national leader, became an inspiring narrative, a story of profound human resilience, the transformative power of unexpected kindness, and the enduring strength of community. One crisp autumn evening, long into her distinguished career, Maria sat on the porch of her Harmony Creek home, the same porch that firefighters had meticulously rebuilt years ago. The air was cool, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and distant wood smoke. The town was quiet, bathed in the soft glow of streetlights, a peaceful haven. She looked out at the familiar landscape, a landscape that bore faint, almost imperceptible scars from the tornado, but also vibrated with the undeniable energy of a community that had not just survived, but thrived. She thought of the young nurse who had collapsed from exhaustion, believing she had nothing left. She remembered the bewildered shock of seeing those 5 fire trucks, their sirens heralding not another disaster, but an unimaginable act of kindness. She remembered Joe Randall's calm, determined face, his words of profound gratitude, and the collective spirit of a town that had reached out to save her when she had believed herself beyond help. A profound sense of peace settled over her, the deep, quiet contentment that permeated her very being. Her life had been shaped by a devastating natural disaster, but it had been redeemed and enriched by the boundless generosity of strangers who had become her family. She had found her true purpose, not in the pursuit of personal ambition, but in the unwavering commitment to serving others, to building healthier, stronger communities, one compassionate act at a time. Her story was a living testament to the truth that even in the face of unimaginable loss, hope could rise from the ashes, and kindness, truly, was the most powerful force for healing and transformation. Harmony Creek had given her everything, and in return, she had given it, and the world, the very best of herself, ensuring that the legacy of their shared resilience would endure for generations to come. The quiet twilight settled over Harmony Creek, painting the sky in hues of lavender and rose. Maria sat on her porch swing, a gentle creak accompanying her movements, a familiar comfort after decades of service. The scholarship letter from years ago, now yellowed and brittle, lay on her lap, a relic of a road not taken, a testament to the path she had chosen, a path of profound personal fulfillment over professional prestige. The clinic, a short distance away, glowed softly in the evening, a beacon of healing. It was now a bustling regional hub, a testament to Maria's enduring vision. She had overseen its expansion multiple times, adding wings for specialized care, a wellness center focused on holistic health, and even a small, integrated research lab exploring rural health challenges. Doctors and nurses from all over the country sought positions there, drawn by its reputation for excellence and its unique, patient-centered approach, a direct reflection of Maria's compassionate leadership. Her influence had indeed spread far beyond Harmony Creek. The policies she had championed at the National Rural Health Association had transformed healthcare access for millions in underserved areas. She had testified before congressional committees, advised presidents on healthcare reform, and addressed global conferences on the power of community-driven health initiatives. Her story, once a local legend, had become an international inspiration, a powerful narrative of resilience and the profound impact of genuine empathy in the face of adversity. Yet, for all the accolades and global recognition, Maria's heart remained firmly rooted in Harmony Creek. She still held weekly clinic hours, her hands as steady and compassionate as ever, her touch a familiar comfort to generations of families. She knew every patient by name, their histories, their triumphs, and their struggles. The children she had seen grow up now brought their own children to her, a beautiful cyclical testament to the continuity of life and healing she had fostered. Joe and Sarah, now gracefully aged, were still her anchors. Their children, grown and with families of their own, considered Maria a beloved aunt. Joe, having retired from the fire department, spent his days tending to his garden and volunteering at the local community center, still possessing that quiet strength and unwavering loyalty. Sarah, her spirit as vibrant as ever, often shared cups of tea on Maria's porch, reminiscing about the old days, their laughter a soft melody in the twilight. Their friendship was a tapestry woven with shared memories, profound gratitude, and an unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of disaster. One evening, as the first stars began to prickle through the darkening sky, a young medical student, eager and idealistic, approached Maria on her porch. She was interning at the clinic, inspired by Maria's legacy. "Dr. Liao," the student began, her voice filled with admiration. "I've read all about your work. Your journey is incredible, to lose everything, and then to build so much. What was the moment, truly, when you knew everything would be all right, when you felt hope again after the tornado?" Maria smiled, her gaze drifting to the distant glow of the clinic, then to the familiar outline of Joe and Sarah's home. "It wasn't a single moment, dear," she said, her voice soft, imbued with the wisdom of years. "It was a series of small ones, really. But the very first spark that came when 5 fire trucks stopped by my car, when Captain Randall, a man I barely knew, stood there. His eyes filled with gratitude, and told me they were there to rebuild my home. It wasn't just about the wood and nails, you see. It was about kindness. It was about seeing that even when you feel utterly alone, there are people who care, who will show up for you, who will rebuild your world, one compassionate act at a time." End quote. She paused, then added, her gaze thoughtful. "It taught me that our greatest strengths often emerge from our deepest vulnerabilities, and that true wealth isn't measured in possessions, but in the richness of our connections, the bonds we forge, and the positive ripples we create in the lives of others. Harmony Creek gave me all of that. It gave me a home, yes, but more importantly, It gave me a profound understanding of what it means to be truly connected, truly part of something greater than yourself." End quote. The student listened, her eyes wide with understanding, absorbing the profound lesson. Maria, now an elder stateswoman of healthcare, was more than just a figure of national acclaim. She was a living embodiment of Harmony Creek's spirit, a testament to the enduring power of human compassion and the remarkable journey of a nurse who, after losing everything, found a destiny far richer than she could have ever imagined, one built on the unwavering foundation of kindness and community. Her legacy, woven into the very fabric of the town and the nation, would continue to inspire for generations to come. A lasting beacon of hope and healing. The gentle hum of crickets now filled the evening air, a lullaby to the peaceful rhythm of Harmony Creek. Maria, her hair now a distinguished silver, leaned back in the porch swing, a sense of profound contentment settling deep within her. The young medical student had departed, leaving behind a quiet reverence, a testament to the enduring power of Maria's story. Maria often reflected on the serendipitous events that had shaped her life. The tornado, a force of nature that had unleashed devastation, had paradoxically been the catalyst for immense good. It had stripped away her material possessions, leaving her vulnerable and adrift, but in doing so, it had cleared the path for an outpouring of human kindness that reshaped her entire existence. The image of the 5 fire trucks, emblazoned in her memory, remained a powerful symbol of rescue, not just from the storm's aftermath, but from the anonymity of a life she hadn't realized was unfulfilling. She remembered the early days at the clinic, the sheer exhaustion, the grim determination. She recalled the countless faces, the whispered thanks, the quiet moments of connection with patients that had solidified her resolve to stay. Harmony Creek wasn't just a place of work. It was a living, breathing entity that had embraced her, nurtured her, and provided a canvas for her true purpose to emerge. Her relationship with Joe Randall and Sarah continued to be a cornerstone of her life. They were more than friends. They were family, woven into the fabric of her daily existence. Their laughter, their unwavering support, and their shared history were threads of comfort that enriched her life immeasurably. They often held potluck dinners at Maria's home, the aroma of Sarah's famous apple pie mingling with the scent of blooming jasmine from Maria's garden. These evenings were filled with lively conversation, recounting old stories of Harmony Creek's rebuilding and celebrating the quiet victories of everyday life. As the years advanced, Maria began to gradually step back from her demanding national roles, preferring to dedicate more of her time directly to Harmony Creek. She mentored the next generation of healthcare leaders at the clinic, sharing her vast knowledge and instilling in them the same values of compassion, community focus, and innovation that had guided her. Her presence at the clinic, though less frequent in an official capacity, remained a source of immense inspiration. She was often seen walking the halls, offering a comforting word to a worried patient, or a seasoned piece of advice to a new nurse, her wisdom a guiding light. One warm summer evening, as a gentle rain began to fall, pattering softly on the porch roof, Maria sat with Joe and Sarah, sipping herbal tea. The conversation turned, as it often did, to the future of Harmony Creek, to the next generation. "The clinic is in excellent hands, Maria," Joe remarked, a proud smile on his face. "The team you've built, the systems you've put in place it will thrive for decades to come. And the town itself," Sarah added, "it's grown, but it's kept its heart. The community spirit you helped foster, it's stronger than ever." Maria smiled, her eyes crinkling at the corners. "It was never just me," she corrected softly. "It was all of us. Harmony Creek showed me that true strength lies in unity, in helping each other when we're at our most vulnerable. The tornado took so much, but it also revealed the absolute best in humanity. It showed me that even in the darkest moments, there is always light, if you know where to look, and if you're open to receiving it." End quote. She looked out at the rain-washed streets, at the homes that had risen from the rubble, at the distant glow of the clinic, a testament to resilience and renewed purpose. Her journey, from a disoriented nurse sleeping in her car to a revered figure of healing and hope, was a powerful narrative that continued to inspire. It was a story not just of survival, but of profound transformation. a testament to the ripple effect of a single act of kindness and the enduring power of community to rebuild not just structures, but lives and spirits, forging a legacy that echoed through time. The years spun into a tapestry of quiet triumphs and enduring peace for Maria. Harmony Creek thrived, its story a vibrant testament to resilience, and Maria remained its beating heart, a constant presence, a living legend. Her mornings still began with the rich aroma of coffee and the familiar sounds of the town awakening. She might spend an hour at the clinic, offering a quick consultation, checking in on a new initiative, or simply sharing a laugh with the younger staff members who looked up to her with awe. Her afternoons were often spent in the community garden, tending to the blossoming flowers, a meditative practice that connected her to the earth and the enduring cycle of life. She found immense satisfaction in watching the town's children grow, knowing she had played a part in safeguarding their health and their future. Even in her golden years, Maria's mind remained as sharp as ever, her compassion boundless. She continued to serve as an informal advisor to the National Rural Health Association, offering her insights and wisdom from afar, her reputation preceding her in every conversation. Younger policymakers sought her counsel, recognizing the invaluable depth of her practical experience and her unwavering commitment to equitable healthcare. Joe and Sarah, now truly in their twilight years, remained her dearest companions. Their homes, rebuilt from the ashes of the tornado, stood as enduring symbols of their intertwined destinies. They shared meals, quiet conversations on the porch, and the comforting silence that only decades of deep friendship can forge. They spoke less of the tornado now, the sharp edges of memory softened by time, and the overwhelming beauty of what they had built together. Instead, their conversations revolved around grandchildren, shared memories, and the simple joys of a life well lived. One crisp autumn evening, as the first hint of frost touched the air, Maria sat on her porch swing, wrapped in a warm shawl. Joe and Sarah were inside, preparing their usual pot of tea. Maria gazed at the stars, a vast, comforting expanse above Harmony Creek. She reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her from the sterile environment of a city hospital, through the devastating chaos of a tornado, to this tranquil haven. She remembered the fear, the exhaustion, the utter despair of that night she slept in her car, believing herself utterly alone. Then, the rumble of engines, the flash of red, and the face of Captain Joe Randall, offering not judgment, but unwavering support, a promise of a future she couldn't yet see. It was a pivotal moment, a turning point that had illuminated her path and shown her the profound capacity for human kindness. Maria smiled, a soft, contented expression. Her life had been a testament to the unexpected blessings that can emerge from the ashes of disaster. She had lost a home, but gained a community. She had lost her way, but found her true purpose. And in the process, she had not only rebuilt her own life, but had helped to heal and uplift countless others, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of rural healthcare and on the hearts of an entire town. Her story, the nurse who slept in her car, was no longer just about a single act of kindness, but about the enduring legacy of a life lived with unwavering compassion, resilience, and a profound understanding of what truly matters. The scent of night-blooming jasmine now drifted on the gentle breeze, a familiar fragrance that had come to symbolize the peace Maria found in Harmony Creek. She closed her eyes for a moment, letting the sounds of the night, the rustle of leaves, the distant hoot of an owl, wash over her. Every sense was alive to the profound tranquility of her life. Maria's reputation, forged in the crucible of disaster and built brick by compassionate brick, had transcended the professional sphere. She was often invited to speak at local schools, sharing her story with wide-eyed children, instilling in them the values of empathy, courage, and community service. She would tell them about the dark days, the despair, and then the sudden flash of red, the arrival of the fire trucks, and the profound lesson that even when it feels like the world has collapsed, kindness can rebuild it. These talks were not about self-aggrandizement. They were about sowing seeds of hope and resilience in the next generation, preparing them to face their own storms with courage and compassion. Her home, once a symbol of loss, was now a vibrant hub of warmth and hospitality. Grandchildren of the initial volunteers, now teenagers, often stopped by, seeking her wisdom, sharing their dreams, or simply enjoying a glass of iced tea on the porch. Maria had become a matriarchal figure, not just to the clinic, but to the entire town. Her presence was a comforting constant, a reminder of Harmony Creek's enduring spirit. The occasional visits from reporters, eager to capture her enduring story, no longer felt intrusive. Maria would graciously share her experiences, always emphasizing the collective effort, the spirit of the town, and the boundless generosity that had transformed her life. She saw herself not as a solitary hero, but as a vessel for a greater truth, that humanity's capacity for good often shines brightest in its darkest hours. One clear, star-filled night, Maria found herself gazing up at the vast expanse of the cosmos, feeling a profound connection to something larger than herself. She thought of the countless lives she had touched, the systems she had helped build, the communities she had helped heal. It was a life beyond anything she could have ever envisioned during those desperate hours after the tornado. She remembered the feeling of the cramped car, the biting cold, the overwhelming sense of loneliness and loss. And then, the abrupt, glorious arrival of the fire trucks, a symphony of hope, led by Joe Randall, whose simple act of gratitude had set her on an entirely new trajectory. It was a beautiful, improbable turn of events, a testament to the fact that sometimes, losing everything can lead to finding your true purpose. The gentle smile touched her lips. Her journey was a testament to the unseen threads that connect us all, the profound impact of empathy, and the extraordinary power of a community that truly cares. Harmony Creek was not just a place on a map. It was a living, breathing testament to the human spirit's ability to rise from the ashes, to rebuild, and to find enduring peace and purpose, all thanks to an act of kindness sparked by a nurse who simply did her job.